Welcome to the Paryav channel. I now invite you to follow the continuation of the great Ferdowsi's Shahnameh. So listen closely. When the cries of joy echoed across the plains and mountains, and Zahak, the serpent-shouldered, was finally chained within the depths of Mount Damavand, it felt as though a new breath had entered the chest of Iran. I, the narrator of these turbulent days, can still hear the clang of iron chains striking the cold stones of Damavand, a sound that marked the end of a dark era and the dawn of a new chapter. The people, weary from years of tyranny and bloodshed, gathered around Kaveh the blacksmith and the brave young hero, Fereydun. The Kavian banner, once nothing more than a simple piece of leather stained with the blood and tears of the oppressed, now shone above the army like a rising sun. Everyone knew this banner was more than a symbol of war. It was a sign of hope, of liberation, of humanity restored. After Zahak was bound, all eyes turned to Fereydun. The young man who had risen from the heart of the Alborz mountains now stood upon the shoulders of the people at the summit of history. But this was only the beginning of his path. Kingship is not merely sitting upon a throne, it is a trial far harsher than any battle fought with a sword. Before placing the crown upon his head, Fereydun walked among the people. I saw with my own eyes how he rested his hand on the shoulders of the elderly, embraced orphaned children, and wept with the mothers whose sons had been devoured by Zahak's serpents. He knew that the wounds of this land could only be healed through justice and compassion. Days passed, and Fereydun ordered the ruins to be rebuilt. Lands that had withered under the shadow of tyranny came back to life. Rivers flowed freely once more, and the people, after so many years, finally tasted safety again. Yet even in this calm, Fereydun knew that the shadow of Zahak still lingered in the corners of people's minds. He had to establish such justice that no one would ever dare oppress the people again. To strengthen the foundations of his kingdom, Fereydun traveled to distant lands. He met with tribal leaders, forged alliances, and restored Iran's name to the heights of the world. During these journeys, he met a noble woman of pure lineage. She would become the mother of his 3 sons, Salm, Tur, and Iraj. Years passed, and Fereydun, now a wise and seasoned king, decided to divide the world among his sons. But this decision became the beginning of a tragedy that still makes my heart tremble whenever I recall it. Salm, the eldest, was ambitious and proud. Tur, the middle son, was hot-tempered and warlike. And Iraj, the youngest, was the kindest and wisest of them all. With a father's love, Fereydun divided the world, the west and Rome to Salm, Turan, and the east to Tur, and Iran to Iraj, whom he deemed most worthy. But this choice ignited the flames of jealousy in the hearts of the elder brothers. They believed their father loved Iraj more. Jealousy, like a black serpent, slithered into their hearts and slowly turned into hatred. The day Iraj, with a calm heart and empty hands, went to speak with his brothers, I was among his companions. He had come to extinguish the fire of resentment, but Salm and Tur were so consumed by envy that they could no longer hear the voice of truth. That day, the plains echoed with cries and lamentation. Iraj, innocent and defenseless, was slain by his own brothers. When the news reached Fereydun, it was as if the sky had fallen upon the earth. The king, who had defeated Zahak, now collapsed under the weight of a tragedy born from his own household. I witnessed how Fereydun removed his crown in solitude and cast dust upon it. He said, "I conquered the world, but I lost my own heart." Yet destiny always finds a way forward. Years later, from the lineage of Iraj, a young man arose, Manuchair, whose veins pulsed with the blood of his ancestors. Fereydun, now old and frail, summoned him and named him heir to the throne. He knew this young man would one day avenge Iraj's blood and restore justice. And so, the reign of Fereydun, with all its glory and sorrow, came to an end. He was a king who began with justice, ruled with compassion, and departed the world with the grief of a father who had lost his child. Yet his name, like the Kavian banner, will shine forever across the heights of Iran's history. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Shahnameh Stories. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Until the next video, goodbye.